Food processing facility sanitation is an integral part of good manufacturing practices. Effective sanitation aids in ensuring the wholesomeness, safety, and quality of shell eggs. The negative impacts on food safety and egg quality are a result of microbial growth. Research has shown that ineffective cleaning and sanitation practices or programs can lead to reduced quality duration or potential product contamination. Residual microorganisms can lead to egg spoilage or foodborne illness. Most of this training series will focus on the United States Department of Agriculture Agricultural Marketing Service pre-operational sanitation inspection expectations. However, remember that the Food and Drug Administration has oversight of consumer shell eggs in the United States as stated in 21 CFR 117. Additionally, customers, accrediting organizations, such as Safe Quality Food, British Retail Consortium Global Standard, and others, as well as state and local regulatory agencies, may have additional facility sanitation expectations that can impact your facility. AMS sanitation requirements are meant to protect the integrity of the USDA grade mark by requiring additional sanitation expectations at facilities that utilize AMS voluntary grading services. To meet these goals, AMS inspectors will assess for voluntary grading program requirements during the pre-operational sanitation inspection and throughout processing operations by utilizing organoleptic inspection assessments. While AMS may review microbial test results as part of certain export programs, AMS does not conduct nor require swabbing or biological testing during routine sanitation assessments. So what is organoleptic inspection? Organoleptic inspection assessments include sight, smell, and touch. However, microbial growth will not always be seen, smelled, or felt. Critical areas are defined as equipment with potential surface contact with eggs or come in contact with wash water or air blown to dry the eggs. Non-critical areas are defined as areas that are not likely to imminently affect product quality. Non-critical does not mean it is not important. Non-critical unsatisfactory conditions should be addressed after the processing line has been started, unless unable to safely do so during processing. Before shell egg packers may use AMS voluntary shell egg grading services, a formal facility review must be conducted and approved. The review ensures that a building must be constructed in a sound and sanitary manner that is readily cleanable. For a full list of AMS plant survey requirements, contact the local AMS supervisor. In this module, assessment of the employee welfare areas, exterior premises, and associated equipment will be discussed. On the USDA sanitation report, these areas are non-critical. However, egregious conditions that may impact product quality or wholesomeness can be assessed as critical at USDA's discretion. Unsatisfactory non-critical findings on the exterior of the facility have the potential to attract or harbor rodents and pests. It is important to maintain these areas in order to prevent further issues inside the processing facility. Reoccurring unsatisfactory non-critical findings may also be elevated to critical. Non-critical areas are defined as areas that are not likely to imminently affect product quality. Non-critical does not mean it is not important. Non-critical unsatisfactory conditions should be addressed after the processing line has been started, unless unable to safely do so during processing. Employee restrooms are an important area to be assessed on a daily basis, as this is a high-traffic area. Restrooms must be maintained and functional. Exhaust vents and hand-washing areas must be present and functional, and sinks must have hot water. The The facilities must be clean with no trash on the floors. In addition to the restroom sinks, hand washing stations in the processing facilities must be kept clean with functional hot water. Employee safety items such as emergency eye washes and showers should be kept clean and accessible. Any maintenance issues, including plumbing that cannot be immediately resolved, should be discussed with the AMS supervisor. Break rooms for employees are generally located adjacent to the processing area for convenience. There may also be designated outside break areas. Any break room or space should be kept orderly and clean. Trash should be kept in receptacles and emptied when bins are full. Food or drink should not be left unattended to discourage pests, and areas such as countertops, microwaves, refrigerators, and vending machines should be kept clean. Here we see an example of a break room that was not properly tidied up by employees after lunch. The trash should be discarded and any spills cleaned up. When trash cans in restrooms are full, they must be emptied in a timely manner. Here's an example of a bin that is overflowing with refuse. This is an unsatisfactory finding and a non-critical area. Here is a hand wash area with a sanitizing foot bath. The interior and exterior of the sink appear to be clean. The trash can is emptied and the sanitizing powder is still contained in the tray. This is a satisfactory finding and a non-critical area. Exterior doors to and from the processing area are critical points for preventing intrusion of dirt, rodents, and pests from entering the processing area. In addition to being kept clean, doors must be functional and tight-fitting with no gaps. AMS graders will assess the cleanliness and functionality of the doors when assessing walls and exterior premises during preoperative sanitation inspections. The exterior perimeter of the processing facility is assessed for general cleanliness and weed prevention in order to remove harborage for rodents and pests. At minimum, an 18-inch buffer should be maintained between the building and any plant growth to be effective. If grass or lawn is in close proximity to the building, it must be kept short and neat. AMS graders will not assess the perimeter of any production buildings, such as barns, during preoperative inspection. Loading dock areas should be kept clear of trash, such as broken trailer seals, pallets, or plastic. Some portions of the dock doors or ramps may be more easily assessed from outside of the building. Any personnel in these high-traffic areas should use a great deal of caution when assessing cleanliness and should never be in the path of a moving trailer or truck. Trash collection areas and dumpsters are typically kept outside of buildings to keep odors and flies away from processing operations. Many facilities will also handle inedible egg products in a designated area outside, whether transporting barrels or dumping into a compost pile. Cardboard compactors or balers, if used, may be kept inside or outside. These refuse handling areas must be kept tidy. Trash or cardboard should not be present outside of collection containers. Spills of inedible eggs should be cleaned promptly. Additionally, empty inedible containers must be maintained in a clean fashion. If vehicles or equipment, such as front-end loaders, are used to transport inedible eggs, those vehicles must be cleaned routinely to prevent pest and rodent attraction when in use near the processing facility. AMS graders will only assess the cleanliness of equipment that is utilized in the processing facility or for the disposition of downgrade eggs. Any equipment kept outside of the processing facility must be kept a reasonable distance from the exterior walls and maintained in an orderly manner. Stacks of farm equipment, processing equipment to be cleaned, or vehicles should not be kept near the exterior walls of the processing facility. This trash compactor area was left in a haphazard condition, creating a safety hazard and a sanitation concern. Pallets should be stacked neatly out of walkways, the refuse should be removed, and the compactor kept in a closed position. This is an unsatisfactory finding in a non-critical area. Trash, pallets, or equipment provides harborage for insects and rodents and should not be stored adjacent to the processing facility, such as seen here. The pallet should be either stored in a designated area or discarded, and the trash should be placed in a dumpster or bin. This is an unsatisfactory finding in a non-critical area. Here is another example of unacceptable conditions, this time at a loading dock. These pallet splinters, wood scraps, and plastic debris needs to be cleaned up and the pallet removed from the area. This is an unsatisfactory finding in a non-critical area. This door, as seen here, does not close fully and therefore does not meet the requirement of being tight-fitting on the preoperative shell eggplant sanitation report. Issues such as this should be discussed with the AMS supervisor to determine an acceptable timeframe for corrections. Here we see vegetation growing in close proximity to the processing facility. In order to remove harborage for rodents and insects, these weeds need to be trimmed short or removed completely. This is an unsatisfactory finding in a non-critical area. The exterior of this facility is well kept, with an 18-inch perimeter from the walls free from growth and equipment. In this case, gravel is used, but other facilities may use sand, bare dirt, concrete, or other materials that limit habitat and harborage for rodents and pests, and create proper sloping and drainage. This is a satisfactory finding in a non-critical area. There are many building configurations for egg processing facilities. It is important to familiarize yourself with each building and premises you visit to ensure the exterior perimeters are effectively evaluated before processing begins each day.